Wednesday weekly learning session for local bartending school. My name is Carlos Navia. I have been a professional bartender for 20 plus years in several states, even ran a bar in Mexico. I have trained bartenders for local bartending service for about 8 years now, started in Florida, continued to do it since I've moved back to California and worked out here. I thought they were responding. Try not to say so bad. I do this every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Pacific time. I also do one-on-ones with people live over Zoom, not too many in person since COVID. You also might recognize me from some of the videos in the online curriculum. I've gone over this topic before. I'm kind of changing it. I've called this before, and what I've talked about before, I haven't done it in a while. Behind the bar do's and don'ts. But I actually want to expand kind of the whole concept and just call it, personal conduct. In the past couple of weeks, I'm a big sports fan. In the past 2 weeks, the NBA playoffs have started, and we've now had 4 really just horrible incidents of fan behavior at stadiums as stadiums are filling up and people are starting to come back out. Now, for anyone who doesn't follow sports, is not familiar with it, a player has had popcorn poured on them. A player's parents had racial slurs yelled at them at the opposing person's stadium while they were watching a game. A player has been spit on. And most recently, someone threw a water bottle at a player and has been arrested for assault with a dangerous weapon. And, we could look at it as, hey, these are isolated incidents and it's just, one idiot in the stadium. But I think, it's potentially a sign of a bigger problem. And that being people have been cooped up in the house for a year. We've all seen everything Netflix have to offer. We haven't been out. We haven't been socializing. And I think people have forgot how to behave in public, at least some people. No one alive or very few people alive probably remember polio, which I think was the last big thing that, threatened people's lives, but it's not new to the world. The bubonic plague in the Middle Ages almost took out Europe. Not coincidentally, everybody wore masks. That's where masquerade parties came from. People had lesions and you put on a mask to go to the party and they couldn't tell who had the plague and who didn't. Just curious side note. But, people are having trouble, I think, kind of getting back into society and introducing themselves back into society and handling things. And behavior like that's happening in a stadium where there are TV cameras and 10,000 other people, it's going to be weird what people might do in a bar where there's only 20, 30, 40, 50 people, or like in a situation, one of the hotels I worked at here at the Cambria Pines Lodge. This is a town of 6,000 people in the middle of the woods on the coast. The town does not have a police officer in it. People come to that town and they lose their minds in that bar because they know no matter what stupid thing they do, people back where they live are never going to hear about it. And it causes them to have some crazy behavior and do crazy things sometimes. Now you've been cooped up in the house for a year. You're so sick of watching TV. You get to go out, see some live music, watch a game, socialize. People are acting weird. So I just think it's careful to be aware of what's happening and what's going on and kind of see the trend of this might be a thing. And we might have problems with people trying to kind of introduce themselves into socializing, being out and doing things. There's a big weekend this weekend, very busy here where I live, near the beach, near Pismo Beach. And I live in a quiet town. I have never heard so many sirens or seen the fire department out so much as I did this weekend in this town. A lot of wrecks, a lot of things happening, a lot of people just not paying attention. And, I've lived here for years. I've never seen as many wrecks and, instances, in this town. So, it is happening. I think it is kind of happening everywhere. The other thing I want to kind of say on and why I want to call it personal conduct is sometimes I think we forget that when we walk out and clock out, you're still representing the establishment you work at. I am guilty of doing very, very stupid things still in uniform after leaving work. I mean, I can't say I've never done it. And forgetting that I got the logo of where I work right here. So I've done it too. Where I used to live in Florida, I hate to say the hangout place was TGI Fridays. I don't actually care for TGI Fridays, but as a town of 10,000 people on an island, there's only so many places you can get food at 1 a.m. Taco Bell, Whataburger. If you want real food, you kind of have to go there. But you walk through the TGI Fridays like patio by the bar at night, and it's just one crew after another. There's the Back Porch, there's Fuddpuckers, there's the Captain Dave's, there's the AJ's. It's just groups of people. if something goes down, everybody knows where you guys work at. Everybody knows where to find you, and it makes the place look bad. So remember, you're still kind of representing the place. You're still out there. You still are a reflection of the business. But on the positive side, I have probably gotten hundreds of customers to come in by meeting them on the street and just telling them where I work and talking to them and saying, hey, it's a great place. Come down. I work this day through this day. Come down and say hi. Happy hours 4 to 6. We got great deals. Come check it out. Have a drink. And sure enough, they come in. I treat them good. They have a good time. Now I've got a customer that's coming in 3 or 4 days a week, tipping me and making money. And it can be done in any town. I think it was great. One of my good friends lives in Las Vegas. One of these times I'm thinking about having him try to chime in from the Miracle Mile at Planet Hollywood on the Strip, kind of see what's happening in Vegas one time. Maybe we'll get check out what's going on in Vegas every Wednesday once in a while. But he doesn't work at this place now, but he used to work at a very high-end nightclub on top of Caesar's Palace. It's like 3 stories above. You look down on Las Vegas Boulevard. It is an incredible high-end nightclub. We went there to visit him. We were hanging out with some of the bartenders there. Said, yeah, we're going to come to the club the next night. She's like, good. Let me put you on the list. Started talking to her a little, and she explained to me that at that nightclub, they're required to have 25 people on the list coming in that door every night before they get to work. So for every shift they work, they have to have 25 people that are supposed to show up and have names on the list. And if they do not, they get in trouble. Why are you not bringing people in here? You could not run into 25 people in this town that didn't want free admission to this nightclub. There's no way you didn't. So, they were meant to recruit. They were put out there to recruit people and to represent the business, even when they weren't on the clock. So know that your contact, your conduct is a reflection of the business, even when you're not there. And if you conduct yourself well, meet people, you don't have to go as far as like my dad and introduce yourself to people in the grocery store, give them a flyer, try to sell them a cruise or anything like that. But you're going to run into people. Bartenders also like to go out and socialize a lot of times and go to bars and meet people. If you like the place you work at, it's a good place. Talk it up. You can get new clients. You can get new people in there. More business for you, more money. So when we're on the job, there's also certain sense of conduct and a certain way we should behave. Of course, it's customer service, first of all. We're here to help people. We are here to make people have a good time. What I like about the business is very few people come into the bar unhappy. People are happy to be there. They're going to have a good time. They get to have a drink. They get to relax. It's a very small portion that are only happy when they're complaining. And that's just kind of their default. They're going to complain one way or the other, and that's the only way they're happy. So most people are going to have a good time. So we should be positive. We should be in a good mood, ready to serve people, ready to take care of people, ready to go. Always be friendly, greet people, have a smile, greet people. I've talked about before the 3-6-10, or some people call it the 3-6-12 rule. At 12 feet, you should be making eye contact with people. At 6 feet, you should be physically acknowledging them, a wave, a head nod. At 3 feet, you should be asking people, hey, is there anything I can do to help you? People can be, scared to approach employees sometimes. Sometimes they think they're bothering you. One of my favorite things people will say is, I know you're busy, but, and my comeback to that every time is the same thing. I'm never too busy for you. So what do you need? Cool, we're good. It's one of those things. So be approachable, be able to have people come to you. Mr. and Mrs. is great, using proper things. If you can get someone's first name, that's the best. It personalizes the visit. It makes them more comfortable. Sir, can I get you a Bud Light? John, can I get you another Bud Light? It sounds a lot better. So try to get a first name if you can. Be sociable. We are there to talk. It only happens in movies where there's a bar, it's dark, and there's 3 old guys kind of crying into their drinks. Okay, that's not a real bar in real life, because those bars don't make it, because no one wants to hang out and spend money in there, and those bars will eventually close. People want to talk, people want to socialize. For the price of 1 beer, I can buy a 6-pack, take it home, and drink 6 of them. I am buying the social interaction. That's why I go out. So be sociable, be talking, always have something to talk about. Nothing personal, nothing about your family, nothing about where you live, nothing about what you do, but just a topic, anything you see throughout the course of the day. Me and Monty were talking about birds before we went on and started recording. Always something. I have bluebirds in my backyard. So, always have something, always have important conversation. Be neat. Keep the place clean. I hate clutter in the bar. I'm a big anti-clutter person. I can't take it. I'll start to freak out. Everything has to be back in its place. I get all OCD about it. I am OCD to the point of the words on the drip mats, as I'm spilling, the words on the drip mats have to face me. They can't face the customers. They used to come mess with me in Florida. They'd come turn all the drip mats the other way, sit there and go, watch this. I'd walk back and, oh, no, it's got to turn the other way. You're not, the bar's turned off that way. You're deactivating my bar. So, be neat and be clean. We cannot be clean enough with COVID and what's going on so we don't get anyone sick once again. And the most important thing is we want people to feel comfortable. If they don't think it's clean place, they're not going to feel comfortable. They're not going to stay there. They're not going to spend money. The other thing, being neat will make you more efficient. If you don't have stuff everywhere, if stuff is in its place, you can find it, you're going to be more efficient. Crazy when I started the country club here, they had, glass shelves for bottles, but yet they had on the bottom bottles 4 deep where you couldn't even see it. So you could only see the front row of bottles. No one could see 3 rows of bottles behind it, and you could not find anything. There was no rhyme or reason to where the bottles were. It's crazy. You can't be efficient like that. You can't be fast like that. Be alert. Someone's drink's getting low. Anticipate their needs. See if they need another drink. Also, just be aware of what's going on. In the bar. I can see fights 5 minutes before they happen. I can see who's probably needs to be cut off pretty soon. Be aware of that stuff. A lot of times, if you catch stuff early and you nip it in the bud, it stops from creating a bigger problem. I've had this question come up a lot of times, kind of too, or I say this a lot too. If someone's kind of acting, someone's starting to be a problem now, they're not going to be less of a problem 3 drinks from now. They're going to be a bigger problem. Okay. It's just going to cannonball. It's just going to get worse. That's the way alcohol works. So be alert, be aware of what's going on. I changed the verbiage on this one to secure a form of payment for every drink. You're collecting cash for every drink, or you're taking a credit card, or if you work at a hotel, they might charge it to a room. Just making sure you're securing a form of payment. You got it. Be careful with people's credit cards. I did do this once. I took someone's card. I turned to swipe it in the machine. It slipped out of my hand. It went in a crack between 2 pieces of equipment. Gone. I had to turn to him and go, sir, it's going to be just a second, but I dropped your credit card in the crack right there. And he's like, you get it back, right? I said, yes, but I can't move that alone. Give me a second. I had to get a busboy. Help me move this now, and pull out some equipment, get behind it, get his credit card, sanitized it, swiped it, gave it back to him. He was very nice. But be careful with people's credit cards. Also, if you're holding their credit card, you're running them a tab, keep the tab current. Every time I give them a round, I'm ringing it up and I'm printing a copy. I'm keeping it with their credit card. When they're ready to go, they're ready to pay their check. They're ready to go. They don't want to have to wait for you to go, 1 second, that was 3 more Bud Lights. And his friend had 2 Crown Royals. Now they're waiting. That is the time they determine your tip, when they're paying their check right there. And if you're making them wait, that tip is going down. If I have it printed out, I usually give it to them, let them look at it, because I make mistakes. I want them to say it's okay before I swipe their card. If that looks okay to you, I'm going to swipe the card. Yep, bam, swipe the card, give them their 2 tickets. They're ready to go. And now I got room to bring someone else up to the bar, make more money. They're happy, get them out of there. Always serve ladies first, ladies first, ladies first, ladies first, always. Check IDs. And I've done things about IDs before. There's 2 things that are going to get you in trouble. Serving someone that's underage and serving someone that's obviously visibly intoxicated. Those are the 2 things people get in trouble for. And if you steer away from both of those things, you won't have any problems in this business. Don't take anyone's word for it is the other biggest thing. First place I worked at in Florida, a kid came in, asked for his ID. The other bartender said, oh, that's the barback's roommate. He's fine. Fast forward a couple months, my truck is in the shop. My little brother comes to pick me up. He's sitting at the bar. He says, that kid's 19, right? I said, no, that's our barback's roommate. He said, I saw that kid at a party 2 weeks ago. He gets drunk. He runs his mouth. He's 19. Sure enough, I asked him for ID. He's like, you know me. I grabbed the other bartender, who's the senior bartender, technically my boss. Said, that kid's 19. Got to get him out of here. She grabs the bar back, starts screaming at him. I tell the kid, you need to leave now. You need to leave now. And here's the thing. I served him a beer. If he walks out of there, walks into the highway, gets hit by a car, I'm responsible for him. I can't go, well, he told me. No, that doesn't work. I'm responsible for serving it. So don't take anyone's word for it. Make sure you're checking IDs. Make sure everybody's got ID. Everybody is of age. All Carefully count out change. And if I get a 50 or 100, I'm always counting it back to the person. You know, your drinks were 14.50. This is 20, 40, 60, 80, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 50 cents. And break it down. Give them one so they can tip you. I've worked with too many people, too many servers that will not break down the change for people, assuming it's going to give them a bigger tip. Like, they're going to tip me $10. I don't need to break this down. Yeah, it usually turns people off just assuming they're going to leave you all this money. And it's funny how many times I've gone the opposite, that I've brought them change so that they could leave me a tip out of it. They've left it all and thrown more on top of it. So count people's change out for them, count it diligently, make sure they're getting their change back. It happens all the time. People are drinking. 30 minutes after you give them their change, they're going to come back and tell you, you gave me change for a 50, I gave you 100. It happens so many times. One of the hotels I worked at here, they put a camera in the ceiling. The camera sees the cash drawer, can see the denominations. So now when it happens, the manager can get their phone, put on 4 different camera angles. Here's you handing them a bill. Here's the bill going into the register. It was indeed a 50. That's how many times it happens. So count it back to them. That way they make sure they're getting the right change back. Keep good posture. You should be standing up straight, alert, like you're ready to go. Nothing worse than the person back there sitting down, slouching on their phone, doing something silly. That was a lot of years ago. They did an experiment many, many years ago, had a bar, had 2 bartenders, and they had people walk in. One bartender was just standing there nicely, at attention, ready to go. The other bartender was polishing a glass. And 75% of the people went to the bartender polishing the glass and not to the other guy that was standing right there, because they saw him working. They saw him doing something. So, be doing something, be standing up straight, be looking nice, looking good. I cannot beat this one to death enough. Don't get involved in anything controversial. We don't talk about politics. We don't talk about religion. Fights happen over women. Wars happen over politics and religion. If it ever comes to it, you don't have an opinion, number one. Number 2, try to steer the conversation away. The third thing is pressing social issues, which we have many of now. You don't want to talk about that either. That's a taboo subject. Try to steer the conversation away. Never give your opinion. And it's not necessarily that people are going to get in fights or into arguments, but for a lot of people, the bar is the escape. That's where I'm going to go to get away from everything else, in my life that I don't want to hear about. So when I'm out there, I'm trying to forget the world. I don't want to hear about the election. I don't want to hear what Catholic priests are doing. I don't want to hear about COVID. I don't want to talk about it. I can talk about that at home. I want to have a beer, shoot pool, play darts, watch a game, something like that. So we steer away from that. We never talk about it. Along those lines, only 2 things ever on the TV: sports and weather. Only 2 things ever on the TV. Occasionally I have put on like the Oscars or Emmys in certain situations. Pretty timid. It's pretty neutral. No one has a problem with that, except when, the film they want doesn't win or something like that. The biggest: do as I say, not as I do. Don't argue with people. Even if you're right, you don't win. You lose one way or the other. I am an argumentative person. I like to argue. I think I'll argue stuff even if I know I'm wrong, just for entertainment value, I guess. I have no idea why, but don't argue with people. You're not going to win. You end up seeming petty. You end up losing in the end. Let me get a little water. Don't drink on the job. And I'm pretty sure it's illegal in most places. I've only had one place where it was okay, and it became a very, very ugly situation. I did not like working there, and I won't name the place. But it became ugly because the servers would be drinking, the bartenders would be drinking, the managers would be drinking. And at some point in the night, someone has to be the adult and handle stuff when stuff comes up. And everybody's partying. So it became just a bad, nasty environment. I'm pretty sure it's illegal in most places to drink on the job. I know in California and Arizona, it was definitely. So don't drink on the job. The other thing is, if I'm going to have a drink and enjoy it, last thing I want is a bunch of people telling me to do stuff. That's got to be annoying. Hey, I'm trying to have a beer over here. What? Oh, you want your burger? So it's not fun anyway. Wait till you get off. You can enjoy it, and do your thing. Don't let anyone buy you a drink. And here's the thing. A lot of times it's kind of a BS move when someone offers to buy the bartender a drink, because a lot of people just figure that the bartender's back there drinking for free all night anyway, and that they offer to buy them a drink, they're really not going to have to pay for it. It's a cheesy move. It's a BS move. If you want to check them on it, do what I do. Say, I can't drink right now, I'm working, but if you give me the money, I can go out and get that drink when I get off. And they'll never give you the money. never ever. So check them on their BS. It's a BS move. Don't let anybody buy you a drink. Same time, the drinks are not yours to give away. You can't be giving drinks away to people. That is stealing. You are stealing from your boss. It is not your alcohol. I have been in two situations, one in Florida and one in Arizona, where I was allowed to comp drinks. So like in Arizona, if we had a good party, they had a pretty big check, we could take about 10% off. And the boss was good with that. So, they got a $200 tab. I go in, take off like 4 pitchers of beer. It's about 20 bucks. Bam. The server takes it to him, says, hey, I bought you guys a couple pitcher of beer. She gets a good tip. Sitting at the bar, I buy them a drink if they're cool customers. But I ring it up on the computer and I comp it off with a manager card. I didn't just give it away. It is accounted for. My boss sees what I am giving away to people. He's able to account for it. He's able to, inventory everything and know where his alcohol is going. By the same regards in Florida, I had a tab. I would just put my name, my bartending name's Dude's Comp on a tab and keep it open for the night. And if I had cool people, I'd throw some stuff on there. Busy summer, I could get it pretty high. After Labor Day, stuff cools down. They'd come to me and be like, you need to kind of bring that down a little bit. Season's over. You know where to bring it. It's time. Bring that guy down. At the end of the night, I comped everything off. I printed it up. I wrote Dude's Comp on it. I turned it in with my money. Everything was rung up. Everything was accounted for. We did not give stuff away. So don't give drinks away. They're not yours to give away. This one sometimes I think applies to guys more than girls, and that's don't play favorites. I've seen too many male bartenders, especially at the beach in Florida, that will spend all day at the end of the bar where the 2 hot girls are, and no one else at that bar will get a drink or any service the rest of the day. And along those same lines, don't profile people. I've gotten way bigger tips from people that looked like they didn't have any money than I have from guys coming in $300-$400 Tommy Bahama flowered shirts. All right, those guys suck. Sorry if you guys own Tommy Bahama shirts, but those guys all suck. They all tip like crap. Now I'm profiling. Actually, as I say, don't too. You don't really know. One of the biggest tips I ever got in Florida was 2 guys sat down at the bar. They had a little pager for dinner. I had 2 seats. I said, hey guys, if you want to eat dinner at the bar, you're welcome to sit here. They said, cool. I said, give me the pager. Gave it back. Bam, gave them some menus. They sat there, they had dinner, they had drinks. I talked to them. They were from Memphis, Tennessee. I used to play football there. I started talking to them about Memphis. These guys had the hands of working men. Okay. They were not manicured. They were not good looking. You could tell these guys have been working outside as a father-son. They ate their dinner. They had a great time. Their tab was $110. They put $200 bills down, said, keep it. I was like, guys, that's way too much. The son stopped, looked and said, no, wait, put another 10 on. He said, I want to make sure you get $100. I was like, guys, that's too much. And they told me this. They said, we've been coming to this town for 20 years. This is the best meal we've ever had, the best service we've ever had. You've earned it. Thank you very much. Have a great night. And I think a lot of their entertainment, though, was they were sitting at the end of the bar where the servers pick up drinks. And they got to hear a lot of the inside banter, the way I talk to 14 servers on a busy night. You screw up a drink, guess what? It's not coming before all these people that got their drinks right. So, they kind of got a little of the banter. I talked to them. They had a good time. But yeah, you wouldn't think these guys were going to tip 100%, and they did. So, you don't profile. You never know who that big tip is coming from. Don't loan money to anyone. I don't care if you've been there 10 years and it's Joe comes into the bar, every day. You're not Bank of America. You're not there to lend money. There's a boat captain in Florida owes me $32.50 to this day, and I won't forget it. So, because he walked out on his tab. You're not there to pick up people's tabs. And it's really weird because I have had this come up before, where people are like, well, I can just come in and pay it tomorrow. You see me every day. No, at the end of the night, that comes out of my pocket if you don't pay it. So no, I am not here to cover your drinks. If you have an agreement with the boss, that's one thing, but I am not here to cover your drinks. So, don't loan money to anyone. Bars and restaurants can very much become like high school and become clicky very, very fast. So these two go together. Don't be nosy. Don't gossip. Bartenders hear everything and know everything about everybody and everything that's going on because you stand there all day while people have personal conversations around you. In a small town, you not only know everything about your staff, you know everything about everybody and what they're doing in that town because you hear it all. I listened to a lot of sports radio here. I even heard one of the guys on sports radio say it the other day. Bartenders know everything about what's going on in the town because you stand there quietly, just listen to it all. Don't repeat it. It's not your information to repeat. It's not stuff to pass on. At the same time, don't push for more information. Don't be nosy. So you're going to hear a lot of juicy stuff. You're going to hear some killer things that are happening. I have heard some very cool stories that I don't even share, um, about NFL players and stuff like that from people who I know worked for the organization and I truly believe have inside to some certain things that they don't put on Sports Center, but are well known around like the NFL. But I would never repeat them in a situation like this. I don't tell them to people at the bar and stuff like that because it's juicy, but it's not my place to say it. And I'm not here to be passing this information on and talking about these guys, that are out there playing this game. So don't be nosy, don't gossip. Okay. Do not gamble. Here's the thing. I did see a bar get shut down for an illegal football pool. My first week living in Florida, found the closest bar to my house. Like, this is my spot. Bam. Went in there, had a couple beers, busy bar, a couple guys playing pool, actually asked me if I wanted to join them in buying a square for the Super Bowl pool. I said, no, I don't gamble. I thought they were locals. I thought they were regulars. Second time I go in, order my drink, I pay for it, I sit down. Same three guys kick the door in bulletproof police vest, guns drawn, say, everybody get out. I actually thought they were joking because I thought maybe that's something they did because I thought they were local, and they were police. But I thought maybe that's something they did for fun in Florida, out in the country. No, they were serious, but I actually looked at him and said, are you serious? And he said, pay your tab and get the F out of here, which I did. Ooh, you got a gun out. You did have to tell me twice. You don't have to tell me 3 times. Got out of there. Place got shut down. It's under a new name now. It's called the Steamboat, but it does happen. So here's the law. A patron could bet with another patron. Anything $10,000 or less is considered a friendly bet. So if someone can bet someone in the bar, patron to patron, $10,000 or less, an employee can make a bet with an employee of $10,000 or less. That is considered a friendly bet. An employee cannot bet a patron. That is considered solicitation of gambling. It is against the law. So you can't have friendly bets with people. It is technically legal, but they can bet with each other. That's legal. They can do their own Super Bowl pool. I've had them do that before in Florida. Yeah, I can't do it, but you guys can do whatever you want. I'll put the game on, have a good time. So you just can't be involved. You just can't buy a square. You can't cross over. Along those lines too, you might get people that want to play cards or dice or something like that. And hey, it's just a friendly game. And it's just a friendly game till 5 makers marks later when someone loses a bunch of money. And then it's not a friendly game anymore. It would happen at the country club I worked at here. The two guys were in cahoots. They never bet against each other. And then they would just bring other people in and take thousands of dollars for them on Wednesday nights at the country club. So there started to be some bad blood and some animosity because everybody figured out what was going on. They never bet against each other, and that way they never played against each other's hand. So, it's allowing that to happen can cause problems. You're just opening up the door to more problems and more things happening. Don't let people get rowdy. I live next to a college. It happens with frat boys around here all the time. Oh, but we always put Tommy in a headlock. Yeah, he's cool with it. Sure. Until 4 makers marks later, when Tommy decides today is the day he's not going to be put in a headlock and something comes up. The other thing is if they're pushing and shoving, you never know when they're going to hit another table. They're going to hit another table, spill drinks on someone, knock a person over, an elderly person or something like that, and hurt someone else. The bar is not the place to be rowdy. You need to act civilized. Neither is the stadium, as I'm still on this topic, as I'm high up on my soapbox on this topic. Neither is the stadium or any place in public where you're out. Please behave. All right, a couple more. Don't serve anyone who's had too much to drink. Once again, check IDs. Don't serve anyone who's obviously visibly intoxicated. Okay. Don't give customers a hard time unless you work at a place called Dick's Last Resort. And then it is in your job description to get customers a hard time. And if you guys don't want to know what it is, it's a chain of bars. They hire kind of voluptuous women and they're super rude to the men that go in there. And I guess that does it for some guys, but it is a whole chain. So if you work at Dick's Last Resort, fine, be rude to the people. That's what they expect you to do. If you smoke, don't smoke behind the bar. It's pretty funny to, have lived and worked in Mexico And it's so normal to have a guy behind the bar, cigarette hanging out of his mouth, just scooping ice with his hand. Like it's no big deal. We don't smoke behind the bar. If you do go out and take a smoke break, when you come back, make sure you wash your hands and get a breath mint. We don't chew gum because it looks like we're eating, which is the next one. Don't eat behind the bar. That's a health code violation. Should be a designated area for all employees to eat. But we don't chew gum because it looks like we're eating. We don't eat behind the bar. That's another do as I say, not as I do, by the way. I am always chewing gum, but as soon as people are there, I just stop chewing. I got busted at the country club. Food and beverage director's like, hey, taste some of this wine for me. Tell me if it's okay. I can't. All I can taste is mint right now. He's like, you're not supposed to be chewing gum. I'm like, I know, but have you ever seen me? He's like, no. Like, so, I have been busted doing it before. Okay. If you have to cough, even if we're wearing a mask, and hopefully those go away soon. I know some states are lifting it. California is going to be the last, probably California, New York, because we got the biggest populations, the biggest problems. So I know it's coming eventually. Even if you're wearing a mask, you got to cover your mouth. It used to be cover it with your hand. Then it was your elbow. Now it's your shoulder. So full shoulder across your face and bring it away. And that's how we cough. If you have to cough behind the bar around people, know what's going on. Know what's going on in your town, know what's going on in your state. And this is also an easy topic to talk about. Something that's happening in your town. Tourists like to go to bars. People from out of town like to go to bars. They want to know what's happening. They take bartenders' advice on food and what to do in that town a lot of times, because once again, bartenders know everybody. They know everything that's going on. So, is there a festival? Is there a concert? Is there a, in Florida, it'd be like a boat race or a fishing tournament or something like that. What is going on in this town? What is happening? So I can tell people about it. And it's an easy topic of conversation to keep conversations moving when they come to a lull and you want to keep them moving. Don't solve people's problems. You're not their therapist. You're just their bartender. Even though it may seem like there is an obvious, easy solution to what is happening, you are not there to give people advice. You're not there to suggest courses of action. Make their drinks, listen, nod, sympathize, empathize. Do not ever give them advice. And, don't make customers wait. No one wants to wait for their drinks. No one wants to stand around. And one of the easiest things to do is acknowledge the people. If I'm shaking a drink up here, I can look down. Hey, folks, I'll be right with you, as soon as I'm done with this drink. And then I'll get to you folks, as soon as I'm done with those folks down there. That goes a long way for people just knowing you see them. If they think they're being ignored, they freak out. And, you can see I've got something in both hands. I'm waiting on these people right here. I see you, you're next. They'll usually wait patiently. They'll usually be cool. And, try to get to them as fast as possible. I know, speed bars are one thing. I know not everybody's the fastest bartender, but, it's just trying to be as efficient as you can, trying to get to them. And a lot of times I found that if people just see you working hard, they will tip you very good. Some of the busiest nights I've had have also been some of the biggest nights I've had percentage wise, because people could just see, this guy is giving it everything he's got right now. And in some of those situations, like I was kind of talking to Lonnie a little bit about earlier, in those situations, it's as fast as I can make drinks. I throw stuff on the floor, which is kind of a bad habit, but it is part of being in the bar. If the people can't see the floor, it doesn't matter. So I throw receipts on the floor. I throw bottle caps on the floor. I throw everything on the floor. At the end of the night, I'm dragging the mats. I'm sweeping it all. I'm mopping it. It's going to be clean when I leave. But it's such an easier time. I stopped trying to throw bottle caps at trash cans, by the way, fair warning. Threw a bottle cap at a trash can one day, and like a Frisbee, it hit the top lip of the trash can, hit someone at the bar. So I don't even try to aim for the trash can anymore. On the floor, on the floor, on the floor, on the floor, just that fast. So, don't make people wait. Try to be efficient. All right. So are there any questions from the giant audience I know I have here live today? Are there any questions about anything I can answer for you about today's topic or any other topics?
It's not really a question, just a couple comments. Number one, I've been addicted lately. I didn't know about it before, but I've been watching Bar Rescue. I'm sure you've heard of the show.
My favorite show. Love it.
And they've had bars where the people are drinking. It's unbelievable. I mean, the waitresses are drunk and the bar people are all drunk, and you wonder how in the world do they stay in business? Well, they aren't. They're in debt all the
Yeah,
time too.
exactly.
So-
And you know, and every single one of those, for lack of a better term, every single one of those, it's a shit show. You walk in that place, it's horrible. It's a shit show. Okay. Yeah. It's a horrible place. You know why people don't want to hang out there. And it's weird that, you know, the term dive bar gets a bad rap. And John Taffer talks about it a lot on Bar Rescue too. Dive bar is not dirty. It's not scummy. It's not run down. It's not dilapidated. And it's sure as hell in a place where bikers get into fights every night. Okay. We call that place a slaughterhouse. No one wants to spend money in a slaughterhouse. No good money comes in a slaughterhouse. You stay the hell away. Okay. Dive bars are homey. They're quaint. They're comfortable. They're very homey. They make you comfortable. They make you want to stay there and spend time there. That is what a dive bar is. Good dive bars kill. They do. People love dive bars. But he walks into these places and they're torn to pieces. You know, oh God, I saw one a couple of weeks ago too, where he had gone back to this bar for the second time now.
Yes.
And this guy had just let the bar be destroyed. And his employees told John Taffer he's taking all the profits from this bar and he's putting them into his new bar. And he's letting the bar that you fixed run down. And finally, John Taffer's like, look, I'll redo this bar, but you have to put up $15,000 of your own money. I'm not going to fit the whole bill. And the guy wouldn't. And John Taffer goes by and left. That was it. That was the end of the episode. Like, that was the whole episode. All right, then I'm out of here. Bye. So I'm sorry. You know, there's nothing more I can do. I'm not pumping money into your bar so you can take it and pump it into your new project. And I mean, some of these people, I've seen him go back a couple times to people. And it's weird, you know, he shows you how to do it and they will slide back into the same old habits just that fast. It really comes down to, you know, we call it, you got to change the culture. You know, you got to change the whole culture of the place is really what it's about. Sorry, I cut you off.
The other thing too is that he recommends, he has these professional bartenders there and they have their specialty drinks and they're either promoting Smirnoff or somebody else, you know, so those are the type of drinks that they have. But he also adds on some of them, and I had a former bartender on Monday that came in, and he's at a real big bar like you know, the ski resorts and everything with lots of people and speed counts, and they've got 3 bartenders. But he's saying, oh, take an orange peel and then flame it and burn it on the outside. We don't have a flame, and I wouldn't take time to do that anyway because, you know, I mean, you're talking labor intensive on some of that stuff. Jeez.
Yeah, and I think that's the problem that happens with some of the people and some of the things they put out there on there as well. Because in reality, so in reality, yes, they're making the specialty drinks to promote the sponsor because they sponsor the show, number one. Okay.
Right.
Number two, they want to make it cool. They want to put on a big show for television. And when everybody comes in for that reopening the first night, everybody's going to go, oh, this is great.
Yeah.
A month down the line, the novelty of it's going to wear off. You're not going to sell a lot of them. And it's kind of going to go back to being a little bit normal. And that's where I think people start to lose it. Okay, that's fine. The way to do a special drink menu is this. Every 2 months, you look at it, you see what your 2 worst sellers are. You take them off, you put 2 new things on there. And you keep rotating it. That's the exact way to do it. This is not selling. You're gone. 2 new things. Let's see if we can sell those.
Yeah.
You know, so it's, if they would just kind of stick with the philosophies of what he's telling them, instead of just going, oh, they stopped buying the specialty drink, we're screwed again, and going back to normal, you know, it's weird. And they do put on a little flair and stuff that's not practical necessarily if you're in a busy bar flying. I think it's kind of funny too with some of the guys like, and been to places in Vegas where they do flair bartending, you know, and the 2 coolest things I've seen is the guy take 5 cherries, he put a spear in his mouth, he took 5 cherries, threw all 5 up at once, bing, 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 and caught all 5 on the spear. I saw a guy set his mixing tin on the edge of the well, throw a bottle up, catch it behind his back, between his elbows. I can't even make my elbows do that. And he caught it, bam, and it poured right into the mixing tin, and he popped it up and like grabbed it. And my biggest question during this whole display is, I wonder how much money these guys make, because it takes them 10 minutes to make every dang drink they got to make. And I can't, and are people really tipping that much more because you put all this flair into their cocktail? It was really making me wonder. I'm like, I'm so curious to like ask these guys like how it really goes. Cause you know, 20 feet away at the lobby bar, this guy's crushing it as fast as he can move. You know, these guys are taking 10 minutes to drink. So I do wonder about it with that. Cause I have seen, you know, once again, I talk about too, big trend now, handcrafted cocktails. Who could put the new spin on an old school cocktail and put the new twist on it? You know, I've seen things as far as a bar in Destin, Florida before I left had a piece of oak on the bar and there were little splinters coming up and they would light it on fire, blow it out, then put the bucket glass over it and let it smoke and then make your old fashioned in that. And it was an oak smoked old fashioned, or they do Manhattans too. Like that seems very, very labor intensive. I don't care for smoky drinks personally anyway. So it's not my thing. Mezcal's not my thing, stuff like that. But I was like, okay, that's a cool trick. But you know, when does the novelty of it wear off?
Well, they had that on Bar Rescue, putting the smoked drinks too. And I'm thinking to myself, you took 10 minutes to do all that stuff. And, you know, meanwhile, you got all these other people out there that want their drinks.
That are waiting for drinks and you're going through the whole process. One of the places I worked at, it was a crappy job. And I talk about when I talk about what not to do behind the bar because it's closed down now because of serving someone underage who did not make it home. You know, they used to throw dry ice in the martinis. That was, I put my martini glass in. That was the easiest one to do because all I had to do was grab some dry ice and put it in there. And then the martini smokes. And then you charge $15 for a well martini, like Aristocrat vodka martini for $15. I'm like, oh my God, but it smokes. That's where I also found out. They told me you can't touch dry ice with your hands. You can, but for like a second and not a second longer. So about second 2 or 3, it's going to start to freeze your fingers. So they're like, you can't do it. I'm like, I'm going to find out because my mom always told me don't touch that. Like, because you have it at Halloween and stuff. I'm like, I'm going to find out today. Yep, you can do it quick if you're fast.
You got to do it quick. Yeah, very quick. And then the third comment that I have is that some of the things that you point out are probably focused on a primary bar. My work at, which is primary a restaurant, and the bar is there. So sometimes it's a little bit different because we have a lot of food being served. And then so the waitresses come up and said, I need 2 Jack Daniels, 1 Crown and Coke and everything else. Plus I'm working the bar too. So it kind of gets busy at times and you're working on filling their drink orders and all those people that are there. Yep. So that being said, sometimes I will tell a waitress, please ask the person at the end of the bar what I can make for them because I can't get to them yet. I'm 6 drinks behind that you've given me already. So just like you said, I don't want to ignore the person. I've contacted them. I've put down the coaster and everything. I'll be right with you. But sometimes I have to send the waitress over there to do it. I just can't get to them fast enough.
And you know what? That's fine. The waitress is standing right there waiting for drinks or something. Like, help out, you know, do something. It should be a good team effort, you know. And
it's been a great team effort. Yeah.
And if you work with good people that are looking for your food and running it out for you, because that's one of the biggest things. If you don't have to go look for the food, you know, I don't know. Sometimes we'll number the seats at the bar. Sometimes I'll put CPL for couple or something like that. Or I stopped putting silly things in there because I used to put cuss words and one of my barbacks printed it on someone's check one day. So I stopped putting stupid stuff or my own nicknames for customers into the computer system because there was an incident. You know, so I try to label it something, but yeah, that's nice when, you know, the people can come out and they know where this food is going and you don't have to worry about that. As long as I put the order in right, you know, I set these people up with some plates and napkins or whatever, that they're going to get their appetizers, they're going to get their entree, they're going to get whatever's going on. But yeah, you know, it's all you can do. I have been in that situation where I've got 15, 16 servers shooting tickets at me. And, you know, you turn around to wait on 2 people and you turn back and you're just holding a big old long tickets.
That happened on Monday. And I said, that happened on Monday. And I said, okay, this must be Bar Rescue stress test where I've got all these people in there.
Yeah, and you're just trying to lay them, you know, I lay the first 4 or 5 down and then I'll usually stick a top one there and have them hanging down, and I'll get to them when I get to them. You know, you're doing the best you can, and it does get touchy too, because the servers want their drinks. They want them to get, they want to get their drinks to a table fast. They're trying to do their job, and you're trying to move as fast as you can. And at the same time, you know, I got people eating at the bar. The first place I talk about AJ's all the time. This place, because I worked in the restaurant, you know, I didn't work in the nightclub part. Place went on a 3-hour wait for dinner. Okay. There's no back wall to the bar. It is people 360 degrees around you, 3 to 4 deep for hours. And people are getting pissed off and they're drunk. They've been drinking on the beach all day. And, you know, their kids had cheese sticks an hour and a half ago and their table's not ready. And people get upset and come to me. I've been waiting for 2.5 hours for a table. How long did they tell you it was going to be at the front? 3 hours? Well, I guess you got about 30 more minutes, don't you? We didn't lie to you, man. We told you the truth. You agreed to this. Like, you could walk to the restaurant next door and check them out. You know, I didn't tell you to wait here that long. We were straightforward with you. And, you know, it's as fast as you can do. And, you know, we would serve dinner at the bar too. If you got a place at the bar, you can eat dinner. You just kind of, you know, I'm looking for those people that ordered appetizers. They're now out feeding the fish with their kids on the dock. You know, I got your cheese sticks over here. I'm yelling names out. It gets crazy. You know, as fast as you can, you know, just kind of do it the best you can. And that's, like I was talking about, that's a situation of you made a mistake on your ticket does not mean that I stop what I'm doing for everybody else because you screwed up. And one of my biggest pets,
kind of like too, you get so busy that when you say, all right, no more, didn't say this. This is what I'm thinking. No more fancy drinks. I just want straight shots or beer. That's it. I don't say that, but that's what I'm thinking. Because they got the, I want an old fashioned, I want a martini. Give me a Manhattan. Like,
oh God. You know, I was working in one of the hotels here, Madonna Inn, really famous eclectic hotel. I was working their main bar one time, and I mostly did banquets. So a lot of times when I worked their main bar and fill in, I would be the well person so that I'm pulling the tickets, and I'll let the other person deal with the people at the bar more because they're used to ringing up the food and dealing with the menu more than I am. Not that I never did it. Yeah, if I got time, I'm definitely taking the people right next to me. I'm selling them steaks. I want their money. It's fun. You know, I've had people sit there and just tell me, we're having a hell of a time just watching you pull those tickets and make martinis. Because in this bar, each well has 8 to 10 mixing tins and cups. Because it's martini after martini after martini after martini.
Oh, wow.
This poor kid's only about 20. It's only, I think, his third shift being a server and not a busboy. He has these ladies order 8 Cosmos. And when he takes them out, everybody sees it. And I am in Cosmo hell for the next hour and a half. And I was just playing with the poor kid. At one point, I'm just like, dude, you're one Cosmo from the edge. Okay. Like, honestly. And I was just joking with him, but he didn't have the experience to know that I'm joking. Sure enough, a ticket for 3 more, and he didn't come pick him up himself. He had another server come pick him up. I had to go to him later, like, dude, I'm messing with you. It's my job to make the drinks. I'm just giving you a hard time because that's the way I vent. You know, I can't vent the way I want to. I'm out here in front of people. You know, my way of venting, if I could ever get to the kitchen, is go into the freezer and just punch a box of frozen French fries. Take it all out. You won't hurt the French fries. Grab what I need. There you go. There you go. That's what you ordered. That's what you asked for. You know, I was just messing with the poor kid, but it's happened. You know, at that same place on holidays, I would be the expediter for like the whole. They would make everything into dining rooms, including the banquet areas. So like Christmas Eve, you do 900 covers. Christmas Day, you do 1,600 covers. And I would have to plate food for 2,500 people in 2 days out of 2 different kitchens. So up to 40 servers would send me tickets at one point. Okay. Jeez. One person's whole job was to pull the tickets out and move them towards me as I pulled them. I literally had an assistant, and that was their job because I did not have time to even pull them and stick them up on the little thing. I had to be able to just pull the next one and go, pull the next one, go to the food runner, gone, pull the next one, grab the server, gone. Like it is in an open kitchen too, where everybody can see me on Christmas Day, where I can't yell like I really want to yell at people when they screw up. So, you know, do the best you can. Just try to, you know, I try to take a person's order, make their drinks, grab a couple tickets, make their drinks, just kind of try to go back and forth and keep it balanced.
Yeah. It's fun. It just keeps you busy.
Yeah. And, you know, rather be busy and making money than standing around watching the game, making no money, you know, that's the idea. Yeah. So, All right. Any more
Right.
questions? All right, cool. I have another class right now I'm going to go on to. It is coming summertime. So I think next week we're going to talk about summertime drinks, good refreshing stuff for the summer. Maybe make a real cocktail or something. I'll put the thing up, make it like a bar, and we'll have some fun next week. So thank you for tuning in. I appreciate always your input, Monty. Everybody, Monty, sorry if I can say your name right. Everybody have a great week, and we'll see you next week. Thank you very much.